Okay, today we're talking about micro and small business startup. Very important to understand the phases. You've got your startup phase, you've got your growth phase, you've got your maturity phase, and then you've got your decline. So this is the life cycle of any business. We are only looking at startup. Let's look at a fundamental, very important. Before we can look at starting a business, we need to look at some fundamentals. How did money come about? Money came about as a medium of exchange. I had cattle, you had grain, I needed grain for bread, you needed cattle for meat, and we would trade. I'd give you 1 cow, you'd give me 50 bags of grain. And currency and money came about as a way to make the exchange easier. Very important, because that barter, that exchange was what? It was a value exchange. It was me giving you something you valued. In return, you were giving me something I valued. It was a value exchange. So, park that in the back of your mind. We'll come back to that. Secondly, now that we have from barter, we have money. How is money generated? Buying and selling. That's simple. Buying and selling. And you can break that down into 2 legs. Services or products. So even if you are a micro or small business and you are offering a service, you are still buying and selling. You are buying your own time because you could be selling that to somebody else. So you're taking your own time and you are selling that. So it's services or products that you buy and sell. You can break down any business into buying and selling of products or services or a combination. Okay, so very important fundamentals that you understand in order to get the fundamentals of your business right. What is a micro business? Is 0 to 4 employees. Small business is then from 5 to 49. Those are your categories. That's how you know if you're a small or a medium business. A micro or a small business. Okay, so let's get stuck into it. How do I start a small business? You want to keep it simple, and here are the tools. I'm going to give you, from my experience, having done this, working full-time, finishing my degree, and starting my first business, which was the vending of single cigarettes in a vending machine. It was new at the time. This is many years ago, and it was a massive success. That being said, I have had a tremendous amount of failures in excess of my successes. So the purpose here is not about me. I'll give you some of my life experiences just for you to be able to soundboard that. But ultimately, this is about you, helping you not make the same mistakes I made, and helping you navigate the process of starting a business. Small and micro business is what we are tackling today. So, here's the simple formula. If my pen would want to write, identify, match, and action. Identify, match, action. Identify what? Identify a need. A problem. Or an opportunity. Okay, never had the neatest handwriting, apologizing for that. Okay, identify a need, a problem, or an opportunity within your immediate environment. There are a lot of different tranches and starting levels for people for micro and small. Some start with a higher base, a higher opportunity level than others. But these are the global principles that you can apply irrespective of that, and we'll drill down to those granular levels of starting from the guy that's unemployed in the impoverished area right to the privileged upbringing, affluent, maybe already had 1 or 2 failures or successes, businesses. Okay, so identify, match what? Match the resources at your disposal. You don't always realize how many resources you've got at your disposal. You've got a tremendous amount of access to resources, people, friends, community, transport, commuting, information, technology, irrespective of where you're from. There's a tremendous amount of unutilized resources within your day-to-day living. So whether it's resources that you own or it is leveraging resources within your community. So if I was starting a waste refuse and disposal business because I saw there was a need, a problem or an opportunity for that, it doesn't mean I have to have my own vehicle. It could be me identifying and leveraging a vehicle that is not being used. Okay, so you match resources to the need, the problem, or the opportunity you've identified. And then I so often with entrepreneurs see them, people that want to be entrepreneurs, want to start out in business, they just struggle to take that first step. They sometimes so paralyzed by thinking there's a lack of resources or analyzing all the hurdles around that they don't take action and start. Okay. Funny thing about your brain, when you ask your brain a question repeatedly, it gives you an answer. So if you are saying, I can't get that, your brain agrees. If you are saying to your brain, how do I solve this problem? Let's come back to the refuse business if you're doing waste disposal. How do I get a vehicle without any money? How do I? And you talk to people and you discuss the problem and you think about it. You'll come up with a solution. Okay, so you've got to match the resource with the problem. It's that simple. IMA, identify a need, match it with resources, and take action. It is that simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Yes, you're going to make mistakes. Yes, there's a lot of stuff that you're going to learn along the way, but is that not the object of the exercise? Alright, so many people would call this a flywheel. And again, understand the process. This would be the flywheel around the startup phase. It's not the growth and maturity that we are talking about, yeah? Okay, so how do I get from North Rand to making money? This is supposed to be a mountain, not an animator. Great. How do I climb this mountain? How do I climb it? Okay? Give me a moment to finish writing, yeah? Okay. We will talk about this still a lot, but self-image, self-belief is so critical. You need to believe that you can do this. And you need to continually reaffirm yourself because it's tough. It's not going to be easy. If you have that positivity and you have that belief, very important part of this entire journey of going from not having any extra to earning extra. Second, start. Take action. Start. Do something. Start. Value exchange. Remember what we spoke about with barter? If I've worked tirelessly to harvest and grow and feed my grain and keep the pests away, and you come and you want 10 bags, I've worked very hard for that grain. So, Okay, you want 10 bags, but what are you going to give me that's worth something to me? Oh, a cow. Okay, that makes sense. So a lot of time people are saying, well, I want your cow, or I want your grain. Sure, but what if you got that I value? Now that can also get complex, but that is where the opportunity lies, because maybe I've got grain, but you don't eat grain. Okay, well great, find somebody who does want grain, or vice versa. But there must be a value exchange. If I'm giving you some of my money, that's my hard-earned money that I have earned. So if I'm going to give that to you, I want something back in return. Back to the flywheel, that does what? Solves a need, a problem, or a solution in my life. Okay. Over deliver, over deliver, over deliver, over deliver. Over deliver, what does that mean? Very simply. If I'm offering a product or service, so let's do either or. If my product is delivering bread to you, and my commitment is I will have it to you, or if I'm able to do it by 10 o'clock the next morning, I'm going to say to you, Mr. Customer, I can have it to you by 6 o'clock tomorrow night. And he says, geez, no, that's way too late. To say, okay, well, Mr. Customer, then you need to order earlier. Or, okay, I can do it by 3 o'clock. Okay, 3 o'clock is fine. What do you think happens inside that customer's head and heart and connection with you as a business? When you rock up there at 10 o'clock and he was expecting it at 3, he's blown away. Loves it. Loves it. So build, in fact, if you are thinking it's going to take you this long, or this is the level at which you can produce a service or product, over deliver. Another word would be manage expectations. Blow away your customer, build in fat, as we would call it. Build in some space for things to go wrong, but still blow away the customer with your service or product. Okay. Relationships. The only way to get from startup through growth to maturity will always be through relationships with your staff, your suppliers, your customers. This is how you can sustain this business. Relationships are so critical. Value them, people matter, value those that are willing to transact with you, are willing to be employed by you. Extremely, extremely important. Very, very important. So, here's a basic overview of starting a micro or small business. Have a great day. Thank you so much for watching.